It's time for Milberger's Gardening South Texas, live from Milberger's Landscaping and Nursery at 1604 in Bulverde Road. During the next 2 hours, our experts will help you with your gardening questions when you call 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. Or come by Milberger's during the show and have your question answered in person. And now it's time for Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Alex Escobar here with Dr. Calvin Finch and Mark Peterson on a beautiful, breezy Sunday afternoon. The wind's really blowing in, and so are the customers. Customers are blowing in here to Milberger's. It's a great Sunday.
Can you turn me up a bit?
Yes.
Not too loud. I'm
Not
eating my Girl Scout cookies here.
All right. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. 210-308-8867.
Are you good?
We good?
Can you hear me?
I'm having trouble hearing.
Uh-oh.
Any better?
Oh, yeah.
There? Okay.
All right.
There we
Okay,
go.
good.
All right.
It's just the right button to push. Anyway, hey, guess what's going on?
There's a football game tonight.
No.
No, what's going on?
No. Tomatoes are here.
Tomatoes, rodeo tomatoes are here.
The rodeo tomato is here. The Pole Big. That's Polbig. Pole Big.
Where does that name come from?
Yeah, we didn't answer that yesterday. I know you had asked me that. That is breeders or a breed from Poland. And it's a big one. Well, it's not too big.
It isn't. It's actually medium.
Yeah.
Nice round shape, though.
Yeah, nice color. It looked like a nice color, nice round shape. Everything you want in a nice slicing tomato.
Well, it's a determinate tomato, so it accomplishes the goals. One of the goals of a rodeo tomato is to be able to produce a lot of fruit before it gets too hot in the summer. And then that's one of the reasons we pot them up, too, is because it's too cold to put them in the garden. It's not cold today, but the soil is cool, and we can expect some colder weather. Even temperatures, I know David mentioned below 45. I generally say under 40. That'll harden off the tomatoes and stop their growth. So we pot them up, put them in the full sun, out of the wind. That's another thing Mark's favorite.
I want to get my insulator on them, or even a big piece of cardboard or something. Get them out of the wind.
Yeah, and then be ready to put them in even a more protective, heated area if the temperature is scheduled to be below 40 degrees. Now, probably if we make it to about April 1st, then they're pretty safe, and we can expect them. You can plant them in the garden, or plant them in your bigger containers, because tomatoes do a wonderful job in containers, and especially those determinate varieties. And so you can, if you're, I don't know, Mark and I always talk about at least a 15-gallon, but other gardeners have managed with 5s. I find
they don't have a lot to do, I think. Yeah, they can water there twice a day for those 5.
Now, one of the things, those BHN 968 and Ruby Crush, which are smaller tomatoes and determinate, they do fairly well in a small container, but they're still top heavy. And so if you can find a 15-gallon, at least a 20 gallons, even better. Half whiskey barrels are. There's those plastic containers that are half whiskey barrel size that work real well. But that's a good place. Peppers, another plant that works very, very well in containers.
Yeah, surprisingly so. I was going to say it does fairly. You said does fairly well. It tolerates it. So it tolerates the small ones. Those small fruited tomatoes tend to tolerate the smaller containers, like the 5-gallon.
Yeah.
Boy, you really should have a bigger one.
Well, you're sacrificing a lot of yield by having a small container.
That is true too. That is true.
And you do have the potential, having them tump over.
Yeah.
And we gardeners say, that won't happen. Yeah, you just do your 5-gallon container, and if you fertilize them as recommended, you can easily have them tumped over. And if the wind comes up,
I like it there. You just kind of slipped into our father's language right there. Yeah, you should see it fall over. Yeah.
Well, Alex, we've had an amazing response to our newest column and the website at Millburgers and us talking about it on the radio. We had two opportunities for a potting up class where we'll talk about how to pot up your tomatoes, especially this pull big. But we'll have other ones. Other ones are available here too. Like
Don't forget to mention that we got the Celebrity and Tycoon and Amelia, Ruby Crush, Roma. We have lots of different ones.
That's right. And the first class was going to be at on the 21st of February here at Millburgers. It'll be at 10:30 a.m. Now, I don't know if I should say unfortunately, but we've got a full house. So we got, in fact, 40 folks signed up for that class already, which means that we've committed all the free potted up tomatoes. You can sneak in and attend the lecture if you like, but you can't guarantee that you'll get a potted up tomato. Now the next class, though, is the Saturday after that, on the 28th, and that's a class that's at 10 a.m. It's over there at the Education Resource Center, 6802 Dorothy Louise Drive, over by Medical Center. We've got, what did I say? We had 30?
I think you said 30.
Yeah, we have 30 signed up for that, so we've got 10 available slots that will still receive a free tomato if you call in and register. And that, as I mentioned, that class starts at 10 a.m. And the number there to call is 210-382-4455. So still some opportunities to get a free tomato there. Again, you can come and attend the lecture. If there's more than 40, we can't guarantee that a potted up tomato will be available.
Not only the rodeo tomato classes, you brought up that we're starting to get calls for the Monarch and Milkweed classes as well.
Yeah, it's amazing. There's 14 people have signed up for the class here at Millburgers in March.
Yeah,
at the end of March already.
I know there's a similar date on that, so it's March 21st.
March 21st,
yeah. Okay.
yes.
And then March 28th is another Monarch and Milkweed class, and that's at the Education Resource Center again. And then also you get, we're offering classes at Floresville on is it the 26th, Alex? Do you remember?
Let me find out.
And I can look at it in the newspaper. It's
true.
The newspaper from yesterday.
Yeah, it's the news. I think the newspaper in, of course, the Express News here in San Antonio. And based on the phone calls we're getting, it may be in the Austin newspaper, too.
Oh, wow.
Did you see it? Is it the 26th?
Yeah, so for the classes, we have class number 1. I like how you did that, class number 1. It's easier. I was going to compliment you yesterday because it's easier to remember now. Class number 1's at 10:30, March 21st, here at Milberger's. Class number 2 at 10 a.m. I always like to make that point at the Dream Hill Estates Education Resource, and that is on the March 28th. Number 3 is 6 p.m. April 23rd at the AgriLife Extension Room on Floresville.
Number 10, yeah. That's classroom number 10.
Sorry.
And that's
1103
sponsored by the Extension Service and the Master Gardeners in Wilson County.
Yeah, and then class number 4 is the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Center Gardens, a Resource Drive, New Braunfels. That's the Comal County one.
Yeah.
And that is May 2nd.
That one's early. That's at 9:30 a.m.
Yes.
And that's always has a great attendance. And that's an enthusiastic group.
And sponsors aren't both the Naturalist and Gardens?
And the Master Gardeners
are going to be helping out with that.
Yeah, they always have a great group of volunteers to assist us, and it's a good discussion too. And you get a free milkweed plant. It'll be one of 6 native varieties, and they'll if you're interested, the tropical milkweeds are available too. Tropical milkweed is the most attractive. It's the easiest to grow.
Most attractive to our and the butterflies.
That's true.
Interests.
Yeah. Now it's a
aesthetics.
controversial one though, because it's an exotic, and some researchers contend that it has hosts a parasite, and it's a challenge for the migration too, because it doesn't. The native milkweeds all drop their leaves and quit blooming like September.
Yeah.
So when our monarchs that migrate through San Antonio and New Braunfels and Austin come through in the fall, they don't really get much motivation to stop and lay their eggs because the natives are gone. But the tropical milkweed keeps its foliage, and
its flowers.
Yeah, and they will stop. And now, a problem with that, of course, is that when the female monarch butterfly lays its eggs, it dies. And then you got to wait 30 days for the caterpillars to mature, and then if you're lucky, the weather is still good, then they can make it to their Mexico City wintering grounds. But quite often, that the weather is not good, and that migration is a real challenge for them. So there's a little dispute on how much the population has been reduced. But one figure we see quite often is 70% reduction. And they not only blame it on that migration, you're at the mercy of that weather. Also, we've done a good job of killing off the milkweeds because they're a weed. The pesticides are a threat to the monarchs. And I just saw an advertisement that I hadn't seen in a long time for a new new fogging mosquito tool.
Oh, yeah.
Fogs 30 feet into the thicket.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and we're
I'm like, huh.
which is potentially is not only killing the mosquitoes, which is desirable because they are a threat in terms of diseases, but it also has the potential to be killing monarch butterflies and other other insects and animals that we want to stay alive.
Uh-huh.
So it's not a simple situation, and so that's the big dilemma, and that's what we'll be. Of course, we'll cover those in the classes, those discussions. We'll give you some handouts. You can get a lot of information from the internet on those topics. And
I like to read books,
Yeah.
and we know.
Tell us about that one.
So last year we had two great interviews. One with a friend, Monica Meckley, and her book.
How do you spell her last name?
No, it's first. Well, the Meckley is Maechle. I don't know, but Monica is with a K. Monica is with a K.
Which she will let you know if you misspell, which I have done a few times.
Yeah, me too. So that was a butterfly migration. I can't remember that because I just finished the Plants with Purpose, which is their second book.
That's a good one, too.
And then we had one, Wendy Williams, an excellent one. She's from the East Coast, but that book was really good because it talks about butterflies and moths. And wow, there's 3 times as many moths as there are butterflies. And
species there.
And they just don't get the respect that the butterflies do. So that was an interesting interview as well, and a really interesting book. I finished it.
Yeah. Now, Monica's book covers some of those topics, the controversies that we talked about, the disputes between researchers and, the importance of the migration and why monarch butterflies behave the way they do. They're pretty independent.
Yeah.
And unpredictable.
Yeah. So I remember this past fall, you and I both got reports. Oh, the butterflies are on their way. Well, wait a minute. No, the butterflies are not on their way. And it kept getting longer and longer into the fall. And so when are they going to come through San Antonio? Well, they seem to be staying in the upper Midwest in Canada for a little bit longer.
If the weather is good, yeah. Now, just to remind everybody on the migration, we'll see them again probably in April. They will come through heading north. And if there's milkweed foliage available, they'll lay some eggs on it. And at very least, hopefully there's nectar plants available.
Right.
You remember, Mark, with some of the nectar plants?
Oh, you made a great list on the newspaper. So blue curl is one. One of my favorites, mist flower, porterweed, lantana, zinnias. Zinnias are very important. What else? What else did I remember? I forget. Sages.
Oh, and our lantanas and our salvias. And
Coreopsis. That's the.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's good. That's a good one.
Bee balm. That's another good one. So you made a great list here in the newspaper.
That's in the article that is Saturday's Express News article. I think if you pick up the newspaper at the corner store, the Sunday version, I think you also get that Saturday article.
I'm not sure
with it, so you may want to check that out if you're interested in that monarch, a butterfly issue, because that article is in there. and it's quite interesting. And we've had a good response to the article and to the classes. So take a look and participate in the classes. Go ahead and register because we do have limited attendance in terms of, especially in terms of the prizes. Well, prizes is not a good thing. We're going to try to provide everybody a germinated milkweed plant, and since we have so much trouble transplanting those milkweed plants, we're also going to try to provide, if folks gardeners are interested, attendees are interested, we're going to try to provide a few stratified milkweed seeds for them.
Very nice.
And people ask, well, why are you stratifying those things? They're weeds. But what we wanted, if you stratify them, if you don't stratify them, then if you have 10 seeds, maybe one seed will germinate. And then next year, maybe another seed will germinate. If you stratify them, you might get 4 or at least half the seeds germinate.
Better success rate.
And that's what we're after. Because it takes milkweed quite a long time, couple
years
to mature.
Yeah.
Except
the tropical
milkweed.
Okay,
already.
That tropical.
All right, 210-308-8867. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back with Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Welcome back to Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Give us a call at 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. We had a guest here at Millburgers come up. He had some questions about some...
Yeah, we had an evergreen bush that didn't look so good. And I looked at the leaves and I went, well, first I thought it was a little gem and you didn't plant it correctly and da-da-da. And then I went, whoa, wait a minute, that's a photinia leaf. Or the most of them look like photinia leaves. And he asked me if it's not a red tip. There's no red tips. I said, no, I think it's one of the parents of the red tip. The red tip parentage in history is suspect. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. In fact, nobody knows where the red tips came from or who the parents are.
Nobody will claim them now.
Yeah, no one will claim them either now. But it looked worse than it actually was. And I think Calvin was on the right track. Timing is everything. It could have been a warm period, dry warm period, followed by a dry cold period, and so these affect plants worse.
Yeah, we're not. It's not only those photinias that we're seeing this. Some of the surprising things to me, like the vegetables, some of the greens that I would expect to fare pretty well, and some of the flowers that I would expect to fare pretty well, got hit hard by this freeze, even though this freeze is not nearly as severe as the one we had last year. Mm-hmm. So I think part of it was that the drought period, and then part of it was that it's been warm and nothing hardened off. So, our some of our flowers that we normally would expect to survive. Mm-hmm. Now the pansies did pretty well. Violas did well. Even if you covered your cyclamen, they did well.
Yeah. If you did that, some of us didn't.
Yeah.
Oops. Yeah.
Well, I've started covering them now, but I was like you, Mark.
Right.
For 10 or 12 years, I never covered them, and I was always surprised that everybody was covering them because mine never showed a problem. But I think it was 2021 that it got cold enough that they got hit pretty hard. So
Hey, Alex.
Yes.
Calvin mentioned about some new misters that work on mosquitoes.
Mm-hmm.
You know that Native Americans used to use bear grease.
Bear grease?
Bear grease as a protectant against
Never knew that.
mosquitoes. And bears are big game.
They are big game.
They are big game, and not only for just big game. We're having some sales here at Millburgers regarding big games.
Yes,
but not the same big game.
Yes, we were having.
I told you had a lead in some
You
way.
did. We have a big game sale going on here at Millburgers. That's going for 10% off everything in the store.
Yeah, and I checked with Peter. It's everything.
Everything, not including grass or labor, though.
Yeah, that's
and
too.
That goes on until the 9th.
But the pesticides and fertilizers,
they're fine. Yeah, they're included.
That's cool.
So as Peter said, it's rather to have a short list of knots and then a long list. So
absolutely. So come down, 10% off everything in the store. Big game sale here at Millburgers. 210-308-8867. Richard, we have Richard on the line. Richard, how are we doing?
Peachy. Question. These past freezes have turned my blue plumbago brown and crispy. Is it gone or will it come back?
Oh, it'll come back. Should
I cut it?
That was another one that surprised me. That mine too got almost every leaf. The stems look good, but even if the stems freeze, they usually come back from the roots.
Yeah, I'm some of the ones that I saw, the stems is froze back, so it got all these kind of like dead looking twigs sticking out with the leaves hanging on. So.
Leave them as long as you can tolerate it. I suspect in a month or 5 weeks you'll start seeing some new growth. But Mark and I are advocating for don't cut any. There's so little vegetation out there because of the drought that don't cut anything back until you have to. So because we're trying to preserve whatever insects are available out there, but also the cover for the birds and seed production. My favorite long-billed thrashers have to have leaves and cover to feed themselves and protect themselves, and the wrens out there, everything has limited plants to deal with.
Yeah.
So what else? What else?
Thank you much.
Yeah. What else? Did you have anything else that surprised you about the freeze damage?
No, not really.
Okay.
Second question: What can I do to get my compost heated up again? My pile.
What is it?
The compost. What can you do to get the compost going? Well, 2 things. Actually 3 is what I'd recommend. A little bit of nitrogen, a little extra nitrogen, so a nitrogen source. Normally during the year we do a green leaves, or I mean grass. Grass is the big one. So you may
don't have that yet.
Yeah, may have to do a little fertilizer. Just a little dab will do you.
1959 has got a big, a good one.
And then a little simple simple sugar. Get the microbes happy and
is
growing.
That same as molasses?
That would be. However, I just say take a big red and dump it out and over the pile. That's make a lot of people angry by saying that. That's all it's good for. But and then a little bit of moisture. Not wet, but just a little bit.
Well, moisture is a key. Even some moving that foliage.
Oh yeah, get a little movement. Not much. Again, there's a big debate among the composters whether you leave everything and let all the different fungi and bacteria work, or others that say, well, you want to get some oxygen in there and get things going. So
I'm one of those
compromise. Compromise.
Advocates moving it if you want to speed it up.
Yeah.
and because the air is a factor, and then that moisture Mark mentioned, and any kind of green material or nitrogen fertilizer.
All right, folks. Thank you much.
You are welcome, sir.
Thank you, Richard.
Good question. Thank you.
Yeah.
210-308-8867, 210-308-8867, or you can come down to Millburgers, ask your questions live, get them answered right here on the porch.
There's a bold squirrel over there.
Yes, yeah, I see the squirrel over there. Been seeing a few butterflies flying around too.
Have you?
I have.
Wow.
Wait a minute, I should put my glasses on. What
Yeah. Oh, fritillaries I've seen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's the only ones I've seen here, and that's the same at my house. Fritillaries are out and about. I don't know where they. I guess they must protect. They must go in the bark in the trees, or
Either the bark or what we were just talking about. Some of those
it's
leaves
true.
in that duff layer, they may be in there, or on lower stems of plants and things like that,
even
vines.
those ligustrum or sumacs or anything. I guess they would find some kind of shelter there.
Yeah. So there's lots of reasons why you may want to start cleaning up. You get that feeling you want to get in the yard, particularly today. You get in the yard and want to rake up everything. Don't necessarily dispose of those. You may want to put them into a little pile or so, but there are a lot of moths and butterflies and what have you that are in there as pupa or eggs.
Well, I read a little article, a little recommendation that I kind of liked. It was a compromise. I don't like it when they say, rake up the leaves and put them in the sacks and bring them to the garbage.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of folks, my generation.
Mine too.
Yeah, especially if they're from the north.
Mark is. I could hear my mother's voice in there somewhere.
Yeah. But rake up those leaves and get them off there. The compromise is if it bothers you, those leaves, I like them because I like the thrashers going through them and the birds and everything. And they decompose and provide nutrients and organic material for the lawn. But even piling them up, they reminded us that they're loaded with beneficial insect eggs and the butterflies. They're protecting themselves and the leaves and everything. So you can be neat and have the piles in place and still get at least a partial benefit from the leaves there, because they do provide some benefits in terms of that cover and those nutrients. So consider that a compromise. If you can put up or just do like Mark does and take your glasses off so you can't see if the leaves are bothering you.
I find that very helpful sometimes.
You know what?
No, but and it's the other thing. My grandfather, what it is, just suddenly take the hearing aid out when he just didn't want to hear the grandkids anymore, or anything, or any other noise or anything like that. And then it just be happy and content.
I was noticing today when I was doing the potting up of the rodeo tomatoes that my favorite leaves were the live oak leaves. There's an amazing number of live oak leaves out there. But also the bur oak leaves were everywhere. And they mustn't... Well, we know the live oak leaves don't decompose very quickly. They're kind of thick and waxy. Yeah. But it surprised me a little bit on the bur oak leaves that it doesn't look like they decompose real quickly.
Yeah, my immediate thought was they're so big. It just takes a while for them to decompose.
Well,
that's just my first thought.
The pecan leaves are just seem to decompose quickly, disappear, and hackberries.
Yeah. All the members of the elm family, and that does include hackberries, they're known as sweet leaves. Whereas oaks, particularly the live oaks, are known as a sour leaf. They're just, in other words, it takes longer for the microbes to decompose them.
What is that? Chemical in the oak leaves?
Tannic acid.
Tannic acid, yeah.
Or tannins, but specifically tannic acid.
Yeah,
interesting.
Which is, if you came from a acidic soil and you came to San Antonio here, and I know we have a lot of gardeners that say, well, surely those leaves can't be good with all that tannic acid and everything in there. Well, when you have a alkaline soil like we do, that's a wonderful thing to have a few oak leaves there decomposing, and because it doesn't face the basic alkaline soil much, but it does help a little bit.
Absolutely. 210-308-8867. We're going to be right back with Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Welcome back to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Alex Escobar with Dr. Calvin Finch and Mark Peterson. Give us a call at 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. Calvin, in your article from yesterday, was there anything else that we haven't mentioned, or is there anything you want to mention in there?
Of course, in every article, we've got the gardening tasks that are included along there. But the other thing that I would be interested in hearing again is the Mark has done a series of communications efforts, including Go Garden Go Grow.
Yeah.
And then what was the other thing you were doing, Mark? Was the both of them? You're doing.
We did those two videos, which they dropped on Friday, this past Friday, for the month of February. And there are two videos. One was a design-oriented video, and that was in the Beacon Hill area. And then another one talking about maintenance with my friend Lee Marlowe. She's the head ecologist over at the San Antonio River Authority.
Gosh, and she's a good communicator and good horticulturist.
We keep track of some, the most popular views, and the ones with me and Marlowe and I, Lee and I, are always some of the most popular ones.
Does she let you call her by her first name?
Yeah.
One time you got a list someplace with all the shade tolerant ground covers. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of properties in San Antonio area. Well, in the whole Central Texas area, the trees are maturing. We've been doing this show for nearly 30 years. And it's quite a different situation from when we started. A lot of situations have shade now that they didn't have shade back then. Mm-hmm. So we're having more and more problems supporting lawn grass, because even the most shade tolerant lawn grass, San Augustine grass, still takes. Mark and I might disagree on this, but 8 to 10 hours of sun. And then zoysia grass takes even more. And, of course, Bermuda needs full sun. Yeah. And buffalo grass needs full sun. And so, yeah, a lot of folks and a lot of gardeners also are hesitant to blame the lack of performance of the lawn on the shade, because of course you work so hard to have that lawn prosper, and you work so hard to have those trees provide more shade, but it's hard to accept that you've you might have to choose one or the other. And hopefully you won't choose the lawn over the trees. And so I'm hoping Mark does one of those, one of his video features on that list of potential shade-tolerant ground covers.
Yeah.
Every once in a while you mention it in your program.
I do, and it's on one of my lists of what to do this summer. Yeah. There's a couple of topics that have been asked for and repeated a couple of times, and that's one of them, because that is an issue for many San Antonians, and the number of San Antonians interested in that is increasing.
Yeah.
For what Calvin just said.
I noticed that you brought up a juga at one time, and Neil brought it up too.
Yeah, I was just laughing. I go, It's one of the things. Well, Alex, you're becoming aware of the fact that sometimes I have some issues with Neil. Well, one of the his inquirers, his readers, asked about a juga. And to me, he forgot the main thing. A juga is very tasty to deer. So
it's kind of like trying to grow pansies.
Oh, yeah, it's terrible. So you need to have that in an enclosed area, or just forget about it if you have a lot of deer. But it's an excellent, beautiful plant for areas which are 50% or more shade. Yeah, but it's beautiful. They have different color different multicolored leaves, and then a bright royal blue flower that goes up to about 6 inches. It's just very nice.
And let's see, oxalis was another one was that the one with purple leaves?
Yeah, so oxalis is actually a very common weed, but that's not the one we're talking about. We're talking about the purple oxalis, ornamental oxalis. It gets up to be about 8 inches tall, maybe 6 by 8 inches.
Mine has little pink blooms.
Yeah, and so it has kind of clover-looking, oftentimes called false clover. But I like this one because of the purple leaves, kind of like your shirt there, Alex. And then the little pink flowers.
I like that because it reminds me of some university that I attended.
Yeah, that you attended, yeah. But also the pink flowers that are very nice. So I like that. So that's oxalis or royal oxalis or purple oxalis.
It took it on the chin with the freeze. At least mine in my yard it did.
The oxalis?
Yeah.
Or the one I also like is Persian Shield, and I would bet that one took.
Oh gosh, yeah, I haven't grown. I've seen a few individual plants around, but
it's a little bit more subtropical. So I bet it's.
What is that? Which I can never remember. I was working on an article, a reaction to a question about my lawn is.
Yeah.
I guess there's too much shade. What can I plant? Yeah. And what is that grass-like? Shade-tolerant plant that the landscape architects seem to like.
So there's phases, and nothing against landscape architects, but there's lots of times there's phases they're going through. So one of the phases about a decade ago was they were really big into sedges.
Yes.
There's Texas sedge and a Berkeley sedge and a couple other sedges, but they were really into that. And I'm like, I like something maybe a little bit more tight, more refined.
So is that the issue? It just didn't make a very...
It was a little too open for me.
Yeah.
So I like standard mondo grass or AKA monkey grass, not the dwarf. I like the standard one, or I like my Liriope.
Yeah, no, you got lots of choices there.
Yeah, you got lots of choices. If it's really, really shady, hey, there's something called ivy. It worked for over 100 years. It's still probably pretty good.
Yeah. Well, of course, I like the Dorferellia too.
Yeah, and Dorferellia is an excellent one. So lots of different choices. You could even do the Purple Heart, the color there.
Now that one though is not evergreen. But it comes back.
Well, that's the one. That's another one that took it hard on the chin.
Yeah.
This past couple months, but you can't kill it. It's indestructible. It's like Superman. There is no kryptonite. Well, maybe it's called a lawnmower. Maybe.
Well, we tell the story. I'm sure so our long-term listeners are turning their radio off now because they know what I'm going to talk about. We had I don't remember what year it was. We have the big drought, a terrible drought, and we couldn't get anything to grow. So we were Purple Heart. We're trying to get people, keep people excited about the landscaping.
Yeah, Purple Heart and actually the Mexican petunia. We're like playing around with that.
Yeah, but so everybody responded that had Purple Heart plantings. So they came up and provided at our office at one of the offices we had years ago.
One of the offices, we don't want to mention because of litigation, ongoing litigation.
But we got overwhelmed by the amount, so we just had everybody pile it until we could get it distributed to the public gardens and everywhere. And of course, the big pile there, it immediately started growing right there in the big pile. And then we got even when we got it distributed, it was there, still growing there, and we tried to remove it, and it was impossible to.
And then all of a sudden, it's across the street and up and down the street.
It just took over.
Yeah.
So.
But it did in my neighborhood and in
in the shade tolerant
neighborhood,
too,
it really took it on the chin.
Because it's shade tolerant and
see, that's the thing is, I have it on I have shade. I have a list of categories, which it's sitting on my desk right now, which meant to go into my envelope right here, but I forgot to do it this morning. So I have shade, sun, and both. And Purple Heart is in the both category.
Now, in your neighborhood down there is one of those that they do a good job. They got a lot of shade, and they do a good job of that layering, don't they?
Yeah. So the concept is a little bit of what I talked about yesterday is like kind of a design principle is you start low on the outer edges and you work your way up. So even with the shade and the ground covers, you want to kind of do the same thing. The lower stuff is closest to the path, and then you get maybe mix in with a little taller one, and so on and so forth. So, and lots of different choices. You could do it an ajuga, a standard monkey grass, and then an oriope. So you got these layers going up, and that would look really, really nice.
What are
you can do that around trees too. I don't like to do that, but it's like if you do it well, you can do it around a tree, the tall little oriope, and then go down.
I was noticing that one couple this morning when I got here was looking at the pieces of concrete for squares.
Oh yeah.
So I noticed you got squares, and then there's colored. And shapes and different shapes, rounded shapes even. So, what I guess you could use that rock too.
Yeah. So So 2 to 3 feet out is usually recommended from the base of the tree. So you don't plant anything in there.
Gotcha. All right, we got one more hour in our show. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. We're going to be right back with Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
We're back with Milberger's Gardening South Texas, live from Milberger's Landscaping and Nursery at 1604 in Bulverde Road. Come out to visit or call us at 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. And now back to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 930 AM The Answer.
Welcome back to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 930 AM The Answer. Give us a call at 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. It's a beautiful day, light breeze, a little bit of clouds starting to roll in right now, but I mean the weather from this week compared to the last few weeks, it's a complete 180.
Yeah, and I checked the forecast. I checked the forecast, and no temperatures predicted to be below 40, so our potted up tomatoes should be in good shape.
That's good.
I remember last year when we potted them up, and I had to, the temperature fell, I had to move them all into my house, which was kind of embarrassing. You know, it filled the whole, one of the office rooms.
So that was about, around 80 potted tomatoes? Around 80 potted tomatoes in just that room? Wow.
I'm afraid to see what he's got there. I don't think I've. What is that?
It's the pictures with you with a good friend of ours.
Yeah. So it's not anything with the scandal.
No, there's no Epstein files involved
good.
here.
Gosh, she looks very nice.
Yeah. Well,
whoever that guy is
nice.
Looks pretty old.
Yeah. She is very attractive and very intelligent. So, is a friend of ours.
She always gets especially nice to me when it's tax time. That's my CPA.
Oh, okay.
So
that's Paul Cox.
I noticed, I'm talking also to the microphone. I noticed that my name was mentioned, and I went, "Did I do that? I wasn't aware that I did that." So I'll have to do that.
Well, who is this here? We should introduce him.
This is our wonderful friend, very intelligent man, Mr. Andrew Waring, president of the Gardening Volunteers South Texas. I thought when I saw him first, I thought, well, I must have made a mistake sometime in the year. He usually comes up and catches me.
Yeah, well, this is another one of the organizations that if you want to participate in improving the environment and the meaningful projects, have fun, deal with gardeners. The Gardening Volunteers South Texas are really one of the best.
I was selected one.
Okay, can we get a few words from you?
I will select what I could mention on the air, but can we get a few words from you, sir?
Tell us what's current at the Gardening Volunteers South Texas.
Calvin is current. Mark is current. But we, in fact, host our monthly Gardening Volunteers South Texas meeting at the San Antonio Garden Center the third Monday of each month. That's coming up. So if you have gardening questions that don't get answered here, you can come out there and find some knowledgeable gardeners.
Now, did I imagine this, or did I see that you guys had scheduled another? A few years ago, we had quite a few gardening. Here's how to learn how to garden kind of classes that volunteers had scheduled.
We haven't scheduled that yet, but that's on our books to, in fact, do that. So we want to, in fact, entertain those folks like us that have been gardening for years, but there's a whole new population in San Antonio. So we want to entertain the gardeners that are new to this. We don't call them novice, but they're just new. And some of us want to refreshen a lot of stuff that we have.
Yeah, well, Mark and I have talked about this a lot, that it's you really have a huge opportunity here in the Central Texas area to do gardening, exciting gardening, 12 months of color. But there's a lot to learn, and that's half the fun.
Yeah.
and it's challenging, but you can get a lot done, and it's pretty exciting when you do it right.
Yeah, I think it's important, Calvin, as you know, what you learned 30 years ago, the basics are still the same 30 years later. Sometimes the climate's changed, sometimes grass gets a little bit old and we want to replace some of that with some new stuff. But eventually, if we keep the basic principles as young gardeners, we can then take those skills and transfer them in when we're 20 years down the road.
Yeah, and half the fun with the Gardening Volunteers of South Texas, you don't really have to get any special training, but you got lots of projects going. You can dig in the ground, or you can be teaching or environmental issues.
Yeah. Whatever your comfort level is, there's always something there to entertain you, and that's what's important there. We work hand in hand with a lot of the other gardening organizations in town.
For sure.
Such as Green Spaces Alliance, such as Bare Branches, such as the Master Gardeners, and all of those folks have something to offer, and it's a matter of finding what your interest is and seeing how one of those groups can, in fact, adjust to those and adapt to your needs.
So if you don't mind, tell them again when that next class. Is that how they would join? Would they come to the class?
They can come to any event, and especially go out to the Gardening Volunteers of South Texas.org is the main website out there. Gardening Volunteers of South Texas.org, and take a look around. You can join online, or you can come to any one of the meetings or any one of the activities that we're doing and say, I want to join, and we'll, in fact, get you in there. Now, I hate to tell you this, but the membership is free.
Darn.
Are there any requirements involved?
A willingness to, in fact, want to garden, and a willingness to be able to support the organization and help other people that want to garden. We do ask you, if you're happy, come out and volunteer at one of the activities with us so that you can, in fact, work with some folks that have been around for a little while that have that experience. So we're always looking for new volunteers.
But you can always pick and choose the kind of activity that you want to participate in.
Again, at that website, Gardening Volunteers of South Texas, there's a special page out there that says volunteer. And you can volunteer out there and put a note out there that says, I'm brand new to this and I'm coming out to want to learn. And we try to keep it anywhere between 2 to 4 hours. So if you're able to make that type of commitment, come out and take a look at us.
Sounds good.
All right. No,
Thank you, Andrew.
You can't leave just yet. You know anything about this, what you just handed to me? You know, because I'm going to ask you.
I know a little bit about it.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Gardening Volunteers of South Texas have a Go Gardening Front Yard Makeover. And what will you win?
Well, you're going to get some free labor is what it really boils down to. But trying to accommodate your needs, and I think you guys spoke about this earlier. People planted trees when they were really small, and they've gotten big, and they've grown up. Concepts have changed. We used to enjoy massive front lawns that looked pretty out there and all that. So we have more shade that we're dealing with, and there's a lot of grasses that don't do well with that. So you'll get up to 300, actually 400 square feet. 400 square feet.
We increased this at the last. You missed the last meeting.
I did miss the last meeting. Yeah. It was 300. It's up to 400 square feet now. That they will come out and lay a garden bed down for you.
Who is they?
The Gardening Volunteers of South Texas.
Okay.
Will in fact do that.
Uh-huh.
And we've got some sponsors very similar to what Calvin used to do with butterfly gardens out there, and still does, to go out and say, you will design what you think is appropriate for your yard, and we will, in fact, try to come up with the supplies and accommodate what your needs are.
Well, we will have a landscape pro assisting you.
That is correct.
And now, how do they get on board here to sign up?
Well, they can sign up right at this website again. www.gardeningvolunteers.org/go gardening.
Okay. And they just sign up?
They just sign up right there. And we've had multiple people already entering. So we're going to, in fact, do that. And I understand the
I haven't heard San Antonio Water System mentioned. Are they part of it?
Well, that's why we moved it up to 400 square feet, because that's 2 landscape coupons.
Oh, okay. So they're involved too.
So they're involved in a way, indirectly. So you could be doing some double dipping.
They're not they're not
a title
initiating.
sponsor.
They're not a titled sponsor, but you can do some double dipping if you finagle everything.
Well, that's cool. That's kind of a new relationship there. Yeah.
So anyway, that's why I had to ask. Thank you, sir.
My pleasure.
So there's no fees. So you just have to sign up, and we'll help you with the program. So and I love that you have a little picture. Did you show? Oh, it's that lovely picture of me.
Very distinguished.
And one other event, just because I have an opportunity here, the Gardening Volunteers South Texas will be at the Home and Garden Show at the end of the month, correctly?
20th February.
And you can come by and see Andrew, see maybe me. I don't know. It's so close to my home. I could actually walk there, but we'll see after I get some tacos in me, and you see us, and then you could join Gardening Volunteers South Texas as well, right there. So that's it. That's all my little bit. That's all your little bit. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
I wasn't aware you were going to be here.
Can I have these pictures, Andrew?
Those are yours.
Oh, great. Thank you.
I brought them especially for you.
I appreciate that. Thank
Do
you.
you know where they were taken? You know
Yeah, I know where they were taken. I wasn't
at
there.
the Men's Garden Club.
Yeah, I wasn't there. Yeah, that's what I was
Great
thinking.
organization, too. Huh?
Oh, yeah. Another great organization. New leadership and but also always involved in area projects, especially those that involve with the environment.
All the members of the Men's Garden Club, I'm sorry I missed the last two holiday Christmas dinners.
Now, Andrew and I did not miss him, and Michelle didn't miss him.
No. Yeah.
210-308-8867. 210-308-8867. Give us a call.
Sorry. Okay. Thank you, Andrew. Very, very much. We appreciate it. Yeah, I do talk about that a lot. Been involved with those for many, many years. So has Calvin, but Calvin's also been, and we have been involved with Master Gardeners as well. So 2 great groups. Men's Garden Club, an excellent group, and there's other groups around town, the Zero Fight Society, the Rose Society.
Remind everybody that maybe it's not familiar that the Men's Garden Club is nearly half women.
The Men's Garden Club. Now, I love this. The Men's Garden Club, but for a long time have been run by women. But yet the women actually decided. It says, no, we're not going to change the name. It has always been the San Antonio Men's Garden Club. We're going to.
No, did he just make that up?
I know I didn't. He says, but they actually decided to keep the name. I'm sorry, they argued to keep the name for that. So.
But
yes, and they do a very good job.
Yeah.
The women have done a very, very good job.
And that's another fun organization to participate in. And they're looking for more members, too. And they have a lot of activities. They're more into, like events. That if that's something that you really enjoyed, there's a great opportunity to participate in the Men's Garden Club and participate in events.
They will also be at Freeman Coliseum for the Home and Garden Show there.
That's right, yeah.
Where will they be at? The
Freeman Coliseum.
Freeman Coliseum.
Did you hear that?
Not too sure.
What was that?
Yeah, the Men's Garden Club is also going to be part of the Home and Garden Show that's being done at the Freeman Coliseum. So there's one at the Alamo Dome, but there's another one this year that is kicking off. It's a different organization, But that one is going to be at the Joe and Harry Freeman Coliseum.
Yeah, I think we participated in that a few
This
years.
is the same place they have the rodeo and things like that down the road.
Yeah. Lots of. If you look around and you're willing to do it, there's just lots of ways to participate in the gardening and learn some new things.
Always something happening.
Yeah. And listening to this show is one of them, huh?
Yes,
Reading those articles, yeah. Participating in the classes that we've been promoting. Maybe help us figure out how to protect that monarch population, too. So that is, have we got a break time?
A couple minutes. We got about 2 minutes.
I was just going to remind everybody that if you're interested in the monarch and the milkweed classes, go to the Millburgers website, and we'll show you the schedule and where the next classes are being held. And they include, here at Millburgers, they include the Education Resource Center over there at Medical Center, and, of course, New Braunfels and Floresville. So you can participate. And anybody that calls the numbers that are listed and registers and attends and is willing to provide the information on the results of their milkweed seeding and milkweed transplanting, we'll give them some plants and some seeds, and stratified seeds. Now, if you want to you have a real challenge, try to figure out how to stratify seed and give it to a gardener and get it planted quickly so that the stratification is not lost. That's one of the reasons why you plant it in containers, is because you take it out of stratification and go directly in containers, and you have a good germination rate. The problem is the transplant rate is terrible on milkweed. You go from 50% germination to 10% transplant. So we're going to try the seeding by having the gardeners seed it right in their backyards. What, Mark?
I noticed yesterday we were using the term stratify, but we didn't tell the listeners what stratification actually is.
Well, we'll touch on that after we get back from break.
Okay, wow,
Yes.
What a lead-in. Thank you.
What a lead-in. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. We're going to be right back with Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Welcome back to Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. 210-308-8867.
If Mark is finished giggling over there, I was kind of hoping he would talk a little bit about shade trees.
I'm sorry with that, Andrew and I. And if you haven't seen, go to YouTube and write in or type in "Go Gardening Video." The last I'm talking about it. The last video of season 4, the very last video of season 4, are Andrew and I over at the garden center promoting different ways to protect your irrigation system and your faucets. And there are scenes where I have puppet socks with my socks on my hands and showing everybody on how to simply take socks, double pair of socks over your faucets to protect them and your irrigators. So it's actually quite humorous. So yes, Andrew and I, when we get together, we are humorous, or at least humorous among ourselves. We each think we're self.
Is that the same as us laughing at him a lot?
Yeah, no, you're laughing at me. Yeah, but maybe for different reasons. Okay. Now, what was I talking about?
Well, trees. I was wondering, we expect the fruit trees to come in soon, Mark. And then the shade trees. So the selection's still pretty good on the shade trees.
Yeah, the shade trees we have here at Millburgers, just about all the permitted trees from the CPS Energy green shade rebate. And yes, so before the show, I'm talking to Peter and making sure I got all the what's going to have the 10% off on the big game.
The big game sale
today. And I'm supposed to ask you something else. I'm supposed to ask Peter something else. Well, that was it. When are the fruit trees coming in? Generally, they come in the next couple of weeks.
So
in the past, that's what they've come in as. And generally, we have the recommended varieties that you and I have recommended in the past.
And now my column next week is going to be on peach trees, so that's kind of in tune with the fruit tree situation. And another issue that is pretty important. I know you were involved in it. At least in our neighborhood, the pecan situation. You know, our neighborhood doesn't have much soil, but in past years, for some reason, the pecans grew pretty successfully. But this 5-year drought we've had, and then for that freeze last year, when 2021, there was a lot of damage. You know, a lot of the pecans died, and a lot of dead branches. What is your kind of feeling about that pecan thing?
So it is. There has been some radical recommendations made within the arborist community that we're no longer recommending pecans to be planted, except maybe in the riparian areas where they are native to. Recommending different species, and you'll be seeing this in the new tree planting guide, a recommended tree planting guide that the local arborist association and CPS Energy will be putting out. That pecan is gone, and some other species may be gone. And that some more South Texas species are going to be included. Because of that, we foresee that this drought will be continuing on for a while, and maybe we should change out the species. So Peter's here. I'm going to turn around. So we
got fruit trees in on Friday.
Friday. Fruit trees on Friday.
Oh, cool. Good.
Okay, announcement.
Announcements.
The fruit trees will be here on Friday.
On Friday, and a very wide selection from what we've heard.
Yes. So
look at that little coconut pot. Oh, wow,
So we have worked with Millburgers. Millburgers has worked with us over the years, the Extension Service and the A&M system, and provided a lot of or coordinated with a lot of the varieties and species that will be available.
Now,
and always call us, Calvin and I, because we know everything.
Yes,
now, Texas red oak is. I've not been fond of pecan necessarily, but Texas red oak has been one of my favorite trees. But it kind of took it on the chin this last
So that
year.
was one of the debated ones for a very long time. Now we know some of the East Texas red oaks, Shumard oak, southern red oak. Those probably shouldn't be planted here, but those are the ones that really took it on the chin. So if you have a big red oak, nice big center trunk, looks every bit of the standard tree which you're supposed to have, it's probably a Shumard red oak, and they don't like our drought, and many times our soil. So, but Texas red oak, the one that you find in the hill country, seems to have done better overall.
That's got a littler leaf too, doesn't it?
Yeah, the leaf is very distinct in that the lobes that we call them sinus are very deep, almost to the middle of the midrib on the leaf. So if you wanted to know if you have a native red oak, you just look at the leaf, and it's very deep. But those in general, those have done a lot better. So a lot of places I've seen where the trees are really big, nice straight trunk, they got huge branches that have died and are dangerous. But there was a big debate on whether or not to include it on this new recommended tree chart.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now
and I will admit I can't remember what the decision was.
I have to admit, now, I had a big, kind of a flat-growing Texas red oak branch, and it was at the bottom, so it was shaded, and it suddenly, half of it broke off.
Yeah.
Just like a pecan. Maybe.
Yeah. So there you go. That's what was catching our attention, is that the red oaks and the pecans and the sycamores were acting very similar. These long branches were dying or breaking in half.
Just like our, what is the one that does that has the
one that's been the problem for a long time.
Yeah, well,
the Arizona
mesquite.
ash or mesquite.
Yeah, they've always have that parallel horizontal branches, but they just go on forever.
They go on forever, but and the live oaks do that as well too. But Arizona ashes have done that in the past, but they break. So Arizona ash.
Yeah, there's
you have to cross yourself when you say it.
Now we don't plant. Am I wrong about this? The 20 years ago we planted a lot of Arizona ash. Now I don't notice that we plant many.
You and I keep losing track of time. So that was the 60s and 70s. So that is actually almost 50 years ago. Wow.
So we're not planting a lot of Arizona.
We're not planting a lot of those. Now we tend to, if you go to the newer subdivisions, and there's some regulations that came about in 1995 and 2005 about the planting of trees in yards in the newer subdivisions. They're almost always cedar elms or hybrid live oaks, sometimes native live oaks. So you don't see many Arizona ashes anymore.
Now
but they're in these older neighborhoods from the 60s, 50s, 60s, and 70s.
I've got one, and it looks good, and I kind of like it because it provides seed that the birds like in the early summer.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of an unusual, good source. It's complements the other sources in the yard.
And just a side note, for all those who go, but that Arizona ash is not an Arizona ash. And go, yes, ma'am, or yes, sir. Technically, the ones that we have in our area are Mexican ash or Berlandier ash. And you can tell the difference between the two, because one seeds in the spring and one seeds in the fall. And that's the one we have, because we get the seed starting in midsummer to the fall on that. So it's Berlandier.
Okay, what about what's your opinion? I know you were involved in our neighborhood with a Chinese pistache. Do you recommend that folks plant Chinese pistache still?
Am I under oath? Alex, am I under oath?
I like it because it was attractive, and the berries were loved by the birds. But
so
it's
40 years ago, I look back at my notes, and actually for the city of Laredo and Del Rio, I was recommending Chinese pistache. It's very drought tolerant. But even back then, I was going, male only. Make sure that they are dioecious, so they're separate male and female. Male only. Well, they're very drought tolerant. And the females actually have a seed source. And that is part of the problem.
They have nice fall coloring.
And they have nice fall color for people who miss the fall color. They have actually excellent fall color. I always laugh with it because they're the last tree to put out leaves in the spring. So people are always we're always calling me up. Oh, my tree's dying, and then you go, no, it's Chinese pistache. They will actually leaf out in May, first week in May. But it is a tough tree. So I usually hedge my bets and say, you know what, if you're west of San Antonio, it's probably a great tree for you. Less of a chance of it becoming a problem. But if you go in any park in San Antonio and look around for, look at that tree. It's all nice fall color. It must be a sumac. And you go up and you're going, it's not a sumac. Now, they are in the sumac family. But
I've got some sumac, too.
Yeah. No, sumac is native sumac is excellent. Now, a lot of people don't like it because it doesn't make a nice tree. A lot of times it forms thickets.
Yeah.
But
it's not a classic shape.
Yeah, it has great fruit. A lot of birds and mammals will eat the fruit in the fall. And plus it has beautiful fall color.
So
over at our house, we just have one pecan tree just tall in the back, and it's just bare.
Now, do you have good soil?
I want to say we do, yeah.
Yeah. Generally, if you are below the Balcones Heights fault line, I should say, Balcones fault line, not the heights, but fault line, you tend to have good soil.
We're right there off of around Culebra.
Yeah,
near downtown.
So there you so that's for it's a little dig for everybody to know where the Balcones fault line is. It actually just swings around from Incarnate Word out west to St. Mary's in that line. So like Culebra line,
right?
And then it swings north along Nacogdoches Road to New Braunfels, St. Marcos, and then what's that springs in Austin? That famous Holy Springs,
Barton
Springs.
Barton Springs. Now, Mark. So now we're in the middle of a drought.
Well, we're not. We're in the fifth year of a drought, probably sixth year of a drought.
Now, what is your recommendation on planting shade trees then? I mean, is it still a good time for the climate?
It's still a good time. Go small or smaller than you would. Instant gratification is usually illegal or immoral, so go small. So what are we talking about? We're talking about a 5 to 10 gallon inch diameter tree, and water judiciously but consistently.
Well, and I guess that's kind of a moot question because the zoning requires that you plant
if you're in a new tree.
Yeah.
If you're in a new house.
Yeah.
The ordinance requires 2 new trees. The idea was a tree in the front and a tree in the back, but it has kind of devolved into 2 trees in the front. The minimum size is about 1 inch. Now, again, the developers spring for a bigger inch tree because homeowners want it. Again, no, bigger is not necessarily better.
And you can plant them to new trees nowadays 12 months out of the year?
Yeah, 12 months out of the year. Generally, the best time is November through April. That's the best time.
Best time.
But with our container-grown trees, You can basically do it at 12 months, probably 11. You probably don't want to do it in August. But that's the case, yeah.
All right, 210-308-8867. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Welcome back to Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. 210-308-8867. 210-308-8867. We have David on the line. David, you have a question about lemon trees?
Where did you see the information?
Sure. Towards Calvin's Way, we still miss Judy every time we think about her. I've got a question about a lemon tree that's established, and it's in about a 5-gallon planter. The tree has not bloomed in the past 3 years, and we bring it in from the cold into the garage during those inclement weather. But what could we do to stimulate the blossoms to come out? In the same scenario, I've got another lemon tree that's a Meyer lemon, and I brought it into the garage during this last 2 weeks, and lo and behold, it's got blossoms on it. So what's the difference, you think?
What is the size of that second one, the container that it's in?
They're roughly the same age. I mean,
okay.
Yeah, you're right. The size, one is in probably 10 to 15 gallon container, and the first one is in about a 5-gallon container.
Right, and so that's where I was going to lead my argument with. As I definitely think you need to have a 15-gallon for that first one that hasn't bloomed.
Okay.
And I think that's the main thing. But then also we want some mild fertilizer. Now, farmers and people at orchards will always recommend a higher middle number. But the research from the shade tree people, when I was going to school, that's nonsense. So try a balanced fertilizer so the numbers are it's a complete fertilizer, and the numbers were pretty much all the same, maybe a slightly bigger one, and then apply that. Or find one that's actually a citrus. They have some of these that are specially made for citrus, and a minimal amount, and make sure both are in full sun. But I think the main reason was that first one was in too small of a container.
So both of them were planted back in roughly 2003 or earlier. Do they outgrow the dirt and the sand that's in there?
Yes. Oh well, the material depends on the planting mix, and yeah, Calvin was on the phone. Now he's back. So it was a lemon in a 5-gallon container. That hasn't bloomed, and then there was a Myers that in a 15-gallon that had bloomed. But now the question is the planting mix, does it age out? And it depends on the mix. Sometimes it's mostly organic matter in the plant where it was planted into. Well, that organic matter will decompose over time. So that's another reason why to bump it up to a larger container that you can get new planting material in. I like to add a little bit of like green sand or something like that, which is not entirely sand, but it adds a little body, a consistency to it.
I'm sorry I missed part of this conversation, but I always like the half whiskey barrel size for my limes and lemons. It's so much, well, I was going to say easier, but it isn't easier to protect from the cold.
Yeah.
But it is easier to get that reservoir that Mark was talking about with soil.
If I'm,
I'm sorry, but how did it fare in the cold? Did it get hit?
Calvin, I was able to. I've got the hand truck, and so I just move it all into the garage and, preserve it like that.
Oh, good.
But,
yeah.
We're trying to look kind of ornate with the terracotta pots and stuff, and they're getting heavier to move around, so to speak.
Oh,
so,
gosh,
it probably needs to be repotted for the Meyer and for the Italian lemon.
Yeah.
What kind of a mix would you recommend from the base? I mean, just pebbles in the base, and then sand, and then potting soil. What would y'all recommend?
Well, all of a sudden I'm going to jump in and go 999. Never put gravel in the base to improve drainage. It doesn't do anything. Make sure it's uniform all the way through.
Yeah, I like that. Gosh, I wish I could remember the name of it. It's the $10 version of the potting mix here, and I like the 1/3, 1/3, 1/3.
Mm-hmm.
But the compost, that potting mix, and a little bit of sand or even topsoil.
Right. So back in the days when more academic and less practical, yeah, that's what we do. We do 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, or two quarters and a half. But the concept was, just like you mentioned, if you used entirely planting mix, that's all going to decompose over time. So you wanted something a little bit with more heft.
Now the advantage is, of course, that it's well drained. You can't, but you have to water more often, and then you have to watch what Mark is talking about. 10 years from now, the soil is going to be pretty dissipated, and the fertilization, the only nutrients is basically the fertilization that you add, so that complicates it. But I appreciate the fact that you were able to get it into the shelter, because my half whiskey barrels, I've got them in those plastic half whiskey barrel size containers. But man, that is tough to move. So I just do the tent, and then I have a little heat source in there, and that seemed to work well this time.
Yeah, it's as you age, it's a little bit of it's a little more work than it was when you're in your 40s.
Yeah. But to answer your basic question is, so yeah, you want a planting mix, but you also want some maybe some sand and a little bit of topsoil for the nutrition aspect and water holding capability.
Okay, so I'm going to go back with the sand in the bottom, repot these babies, and use some
mix
potting soil.
Mark, did you say mix the sand in rather than...
I would rather than having a layer of sand on the bottom, I would mix the sand in entirely, so that it's uniform top to bottom. It is a myth. Can I be any more emphatic than that? It is a myth that encourages drainage by putting a larger grain material in the bottom of the hole. So you don't
Nothing
put sand
can
or
drain
gravel.
better than potting mix.
Yeah.
All right, sounds great.
All right, we'll go forward in 2026.
Yes.
All right.
Hey, make sure you always call, though. We'd love to hear from
Thank you.
Yeah, talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you, David. 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. We've got about 5 minutes left in our show for the weekend. Yeah, we're already... coming to the end for today.
We are at. It was, in fact, the article on our butterfly, our potted tomato and monarch and milkweed class was, in fact, published in the Austin American Statement.
Wow.
Because I've just gotten more calls, yeah.
You had to ask a little bit more information. I know you were looking over there a little consternated, going, "What? Now where?"
Well, you don't always want to ask directly from the editors, where something has been published, but
you're just happy that it's been published.
Yeah, but that's a complication in terms of should we be offering a class in Austin too? But because we're getting quite a positive response from the gardeners in Austin and the cities in between. So that's great. Again, what we're talking about is the article on Saturday included rodeo tomato classes when they were, and also the monarch and milkweed classes. And they're coming up in March, April, and May, and they include 2 classes in San Antonio, a class in Floresville, and a class in
New Braunfels.
We got one more class in that is not full here for the rodeo tomato here in San Antonio at the Education Resource Center. That's over at 6802 Dorothy Louise Drive. That is just 410. You go up Babcock 6 blocks, and there's Dorothy Louise Drive right there. And call 210-382-4455 if you want to reserve a spot. And attendees will get that reserve a spot and make it before we get to the 40 limit. We'll get a potted up pole big tomato.
That's right, pole big.
And if you want more information about the pole big, was an article a couple weeks ago on it. It's a rodeo tomato. It's won a competition, and it was a couple weeks ago in the San Antonio Express News. And also there was a little bit of information in the article on Saturday's paper in the Express News and the Austin American Statesman. Anything else?
I was just going to say, just to end up, it is time. You can go out. Right now, the freezes have passed. Go out and plant. So we got onions, we got potatoes, we got greens to plant.
Those greens look
these are transplants, and then also seeds are coming up. So think about green beans and carrots and radishes and rutabagas.
And peas.
And peas. I love peas.
Especially those, what are those peas? You can eat the pods.
Edible peas, yeah. So edible snap peas and snow peas. So
snap and what is the other one? Snow peas.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all this is think about starting the garden. This is the next couple of weeks. We'll be doing seeds and transplants.
We'll talk a little bit about that at the rodeo tomato class too.
Yeah,
that's very exciting. Well, thank you again for listening. This is Alex Escobar with Dr. Calvin Finch and Mark Peterson. Thank you again for listening to Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. We will see you next weekend.